On the under $3 menu at McDonald's, a McChicken is $1.50. Because when you're craving a McChicken, you deserve a McChicken. And now that McChicken is just $1.50 with McValue.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Question of the morning. Longtime TV executive Jim Williams lists ASU and Utah as the favorites if the Big Ten expands west. What do you think? Brian says, I think that'd be great. I could watch Ohio State and Michigan more often. Laughing, crying emojis, football and basketball.
Watch them more often. They're on TV
every week. Yeah, nice. How many do you want to see?
They have to play more games for you to be able to watch them more
Watch
often.
them play your teams or watch them play in your part of the country? Okay. But watch them play.
Well, do you live in Arizona or Salt Lake City?
See, there you go. Lance says this makes sense. Arizona brings the Phoenix market. Utah brings Salt Lake City. It's about markets, people, not teams. The Big Ten would be smart to plant their flags there. Ask the NBA, the Jazz, the NHL Mammoth, the next MLB expansion team, all rooted in Salt Lake City. Sorry, BYU, you're in Provo. Although it's a cute little town, you're somewhat irrelevant in Salt Lake. I rarely see blue here. And then...
I'm wearing blue right now.
And then you're off and running with lots of rivalry smack talk. That didn't take long.
Is it really market? Is that the big deal? I don't think.
No,
that's
I don't
big
think
deal.
it. I think, and I think digital's on the horizon. So I think the markets and the cable bill that drove things when they added Rutgers and Maryland, it's different now. And Jim referenced that in there. He thinks it's different now too. If anything, I think BYU becomes more valuable in the streaming. You can cash in on that in a way with, they got 5,000 fans in this town and 10,000 fans in that town. And you can't really cash in on that in a cable market the way you
think
can
they only got
streaming.
5,000 fans in this town?
Not in this particular town, but say in
That's what you
Middlesboro.
said.
As examples without naming the towns. Middlesboro, Tennessee, they have 5,000 people show up.
Middlesboro?
They go play in Atlanta. They have 10,000 people show up. You got fans scattered all over the country.
So they only have 5,000 more fans in Atlanta than they do Middlesboro, Tennessee?
Showing up to games. Don't know exactly how many they have. I guess you find out when you find out how many streaming subscriptions you're selling on Netflix, Prime Video, wherever, Apple, whoever the streamers end up being
BYU
down the road.
games are going to be on Netflix?
One day, I believe all of these games are going to be on streamer services.
One day?
Yes.
So is that like when they did MLB, that one weekend, when you say one day, it's not going to be all the games, it's going to be one day?
Okay, you're just trying to be confusing right now, and it's working. I know what I was talking about.
I don't understand. Well,
I
of
think
course
you
do.
I think you do know what I'm talking about.
I don't live in your world. The financial...
I always think it's a treat when our 7 o'clock listeners find out about 9 o'clock PK.
And I always find it, how come you two analyze me and I never analyze you?
That's a good question.
Because you're freaking perfect and there's nothing to analyze. That's the implication.
I'm a lot of things in this world, but I'm definitely not perfect.
We're the closest thing to perfection since Stockton and Jesus.
Says you.
Well, I don't analyze your moods, your thing.
Sure.
You just go, and I just adapt and make the best of it.
You are a remarkable case study. I will say that.
And what are you?
Pretty average. It's not.
So it's not worth my time?
No, it probably is.
I don't have the brains nor the desire. I just let you be you.
I think the last part that when you got to desire.
You got to be you. Morgan can't be Kyle. Kyle wasn't Urban.
Morgan has to be Ford.
You always hear that every time. I got to be myself. That's what the advice was. Well, if it's such sage advice, why is it so freaking common that everybody says it?
Yak, you were about to weigh in on this, and now you've backed away from the mic. Did you think better of it? You edit yourself in there?
Well, when we coach college football, his ears always perk up.
Well, no, I was going to say, PK, he does analyze us. He just doesn't do it on air.
That might
I
be
do it in
true.
the wee hours of the morning.
Okay.
2 a.m. You get up, make some notes to yourself.
Oh, yes. There we go.
I found a great couch to sleep on in this building when I can't sleep and I come in the wee hours of the morning. I discovered it the other day. I got great sleep on it. I had a wild dream, but I got great sleep on it. So. I just don't know that it's in your best interest to go running to the Big Ten. Like, that's the promised land. That's going to be, wow, I got to get to the Big Ten. Is it for Utah and BYU to one-up each other by going to the Big Ten? But is it really in your best interest to go to the Big Ten?
What are the terms? Without knowing that, hard to know. I think their change is coming.
Terms.
Are you going to be able to compete? You going to have enough money to compete? I think the biggest question,
and
I think you brought
money. That's the whole spiel.
I think you brought up. I think you're thinking about multiple questions over there, but I think at the forefront is: would these teams be able to compete in the Big Ten? Would they be able to win big in the Big Ten? If both got a taste of that, and the fan base wants more of it, it's not as easy as it looks.
Well, we've only had both winters. Mick Cronin, the UC Los Angeles basketball coach, whine up a friggin' storm. You know it's college basketball season when he's whining about the freaking Big Ten schedule.
All that travel.
Yeah.
How could they?
And he's not alone.
He is not alone. He is the loudest. He's got the biggest microphone. He's in the biggest market. They got a huge brand name, but you're right, he's not alone. Nobody's happy with the travel and then finding out that the visiting team got to town before you and is more rest than you, and you travel more miles than everybody else in the league.
Yeah. So do you really want that? Is it just so you can get a one-up on BYU for a few weeks? Because BYU, say this happens, Utah goes. Okay, the difference between the two is not going to be the level of difference that there was between Pac-12 and Independence.
I can see why you would say that.
That gap has been forever narrowed.
The gap between the Pac-12 and Independence G5
was
with
huge.
no access to playoffs or Rose Bowl or
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
As
that was big.
time went on,
Right. And then
it
there's
grew bigger each year.
Yeah.
And you could see it in the recruiting. They weren't getting that type of recruit.
And Pac-12 to WCC, you could see a difference there.
Oh, my gosh. It was night and day.
Yeah. Big 10 to Big 12.
AJD Bonsa is not going to
Yeah.
play in the West Coast. And if he did, it would be Gonzaga. So that's changed. So I just don't know that that's the deal. And you must be in that conference. For what sake? For mediocrity?
There's a possibility that that's what will happen.
It'll be interesting to see because when the Devils went to the WAC to the Pac-10,
Pac-10.
people like to think that, there was years of struggle. Actually, it was reverse.
The best 5, and you can go look it up. The best 5 years were the first 5 years.
Right off the
and
bat.
Then pick
it was
another
a good
5.
10 years.
Yeah, and then start picking
It was in 1986.
But I even think the first 5 were better than the next 5. And you're right, the next 5 were pretty good.
Well, they went to the Rose Bowl in the second 5.
You're right. But there were so many years in the first 5 where they were 8-9 wins last weekend playing for the Rose Bowl. And
it extended all the way to 86.
It didn't break their way that often.
No. But
then in 86
times are
it
so
did.
radically different.
They are.
And then in 87, Cooper took off to go to Ohio State.
Was that year 8 maybe or 9 of being
I think
in
it
the
was
league?
78 was their first year.
Okay.
And so it was close to 10.
Yeah.
And then they've been in mediocrity ever since. But times changed on that, and we don't know the level of change that will be forthcoming. But the idea of, be careful what you wish for type of thing, because you're in a conference now that you could really compete. And that first year that they announced they were going to go to the Big 12, but they had to stay in the Pac-12 another year, right? So it's that in-between year. And that was the worst 3-year stretch of ASU football in its history. So they come up here and just get bludgeoned All right, I mean, they were starting a tight end at quarterback. They were down to like their fifth guy, right? And the Devils just ran to the point where one of the coaches, and it wasn't Kyle, at Utah texted me, and I felt sorry for their guys because they had no chance. They weren't very good to begin with, and then injuries just battered them. And that's one of their coaches texting me that, who's still on the staff. And but before the game, one of their athletic officials, an associate AD type level, says to me, "This is awesome." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he says, "We're going to go in the Big 12, and we're going to be able to compete every year. This is where we need to be." And he said, "We are so excited about this." And sure enough, we know what happens. I mean, shockingly, right?
Won it the first year and really solid second year.
Yeah, 6-3 is not bad.
Nope.
Particularly factor in the injury. So they are ecstatic about it. And they've got another situation there because to me, and not to me, but to the powers that be, they're joined at the hip at the U of A. And it doesn't make any sense from my perspective to have them leave without Arizona. Because that's and the lawmakers are going to be involved in that, right?
We've seen that before. Yeah. State legislators get involved,
and you need to go. In my view, you need to go as a tandem. You've done it twice, and to the people there, it's not a big national rivalry by any stretch, but it's ours. We got this, and it matters to the people there, and that's the sign of a rivalry when you got literally two teams at 4-7, and everybody's into it. And that's been the case. That literally has happened. And teams are winning in overtime via blocked extra points, of all things. Not once, but twice.
Right.
And it means a lot. So to lose that, man, do you really want that? Now here it's different. I don't think one's private, one's public. They're not joined at the hip, even though they are.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
It is different, and we're both of the same generation of sports fans that it seems normal, it seems right. And as someone who's never lived in Arizona, I've enjoyed turning those games on because I know what it's about. It's the thing I love about rivalry weekend. I know what a rivalry game is like, and I can appreciate lots of them. And,
we all can.
It bugs me that a bunch of them have gone away. So as much as I want to agree with you, I do wonder if they'll just cast the rivalry aside because so many schools have. And sometimes, politics isn't going to intervene in a Missouri-Kansas rivalry and it goes away. But with Texas A&M, you think, okay, the state legislature might do something, but they don't. Mm-hmm. Now they've come back together again. But they may part again. I mean, we'll have to see. So
I think they would still play the game, I would hope.
Right. But when it gets moved to the first 3 weeks, it's not the same thing.
It's not.
It's better than nothing, and I'll take it, but it's not the same thing. And we saw that here. And we've seen it in other places. The Oregon and Washington schools are going through it right now.
Yeah, right. I just don't understand what's the big you've got to go.
You want to play at the highest level. I think that it's...
But this level is high enough.
For you, but somebody else will say they want to play at the highest level.
You're in the highest level.
There's this
Once you get in December, you're in the highest level.
There's a feeling the Big Ten is going to separate and pull away. And that it's an unfair fight right now. But there could literally be the divide that Kyle Whittingham always talked about when he was here. It's coming. I think a lot of people feels like it is coming. And they want to be on the right side of that divide. And not everyone, and maybe not the Arizona legislature, some people would be willing to sacrifice to give that up. Nebraska gave up a lot of tradition to get on what they saw as the right side of the line, and they have set themselves up for a long stretch of mediocrity. And they thought they were mediocrity before. They were mad when they were going 9-4. And now, 9-4 would be awesome. Be the best season in a decade. So everything you say is really at risk. We can see that. I mean, Missouri, what did they get by going to the SEC? Or what did Arkansas get by going to the SEC? Or South Carolina? They got more money. Have they won anything? And maybe they weren't winning that much before. Arkansas, I think, had a period where they were. Missouri, not so much.
So you're going to go on a speculation. It's too big of a move to go on a speculation. Because if they're going to separate and they want you, wouldn't they take you upon the separation? When it becomes crystal clear, we have to go. Like, Utah didn't want to go to the Big 12. We can say whatever we want.
They did not want to go. I totally believe that. And I think lots of our listeners do.
But they had to go.
It got to a point they had to.
Right.
Everybody sat around and stared at each other. Colorado was willing to go. Colorado just went and did their own thing. But Oregon and Washington and Arizona and Utah, they're all looking at each other like, who's going first and sinking this thing? Mm-hmm. We don't want to be the one. We want to be the one who says later, well, we had to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cal and Stanford didn't want to go to the ACC.
And here they are.
Right. So wouldn't they be available?
We want to travel across the country.
No one does that.
To Raleigh, Durham.
Yeah, and what did they have in basketball in Charlotte? Cal versus Stanford.
Yeah, they traveled across the country, and whoever lost that game was going right back home.
Yeah, and neither team was going to go to the NCAAs unless they won the whole thing.
Absolutely,
which they weren't going to win the whole thing.
Possibly going to win the whole thing. Yeah. There are way too many good teams in front of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So what a waste. We're putting these student athletes through this grief.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. But if it comes to it, and they do this big separation, if they got to have them now, why wouldn't they got to have them then?
There's a chance that'd be true, but there's a chance by then they would have found somebody else who was good enough.
So you're going to do all these things on a chance. You're going to just redo everything. Take all your Eastern European tennis players and make them fly all over the country to go play tennis because there might be a chance that something may happen down the line. Is that logical? Is that good? Is that good business sense? Because something might happen.
I think there are a lot of things that have happened in college sports that are not good business sense.
So is this good business sense?
If that's bad business sense, fall in line. Paying the coach, giving the coach that kind of contract with guaranteed money and then having to write that big check when he walks away, not good business sense. Flying kids across the country for one game that seems pretty pointless, not good business sense.
So
Making all the other sports play in the same league that football's playing in and driving up all your travel costs, not good business sense. And yet they're doing all these things.
Why? Okay, doesn't mean you have to keep doing it.
It does not. They could make changes. And their changes are coming. I think we all expect changes are coming. There's no way. I mean, college sports is going through too much of a change to suddenly have a bunch of status quo. Whether the changes will be smarter business sense, I have no idea. I mean, just literally the deal we're seeing with Utah. You got people who think it's the future, and you got people who think it's a huge mistake.
Whatever is attractive right now about Utah and the Devils, that attractiveness is not going to decrease. It's going to grow. So if there's this big divide coming and you want those programs because of all the positives, and there's plenty of positives, there would be more positives. So they'd want you then. So why jump and wait for this big divide, which may not happen? Of all the changes, that is 1,000 times more than any change we've ever had.
I am curious if we get to 2030 and everybody, including me, has been waiting for this big, whatever it's going to be, right? And if it's a small move around the edge and they wait and they all sign shorter deals and they wait to figure out how does streaming really take off and what does that look like, and they wait for the SEC to be available. Because the one league that isn't up right away is the SEC. And then the entire ACC, you can buy your way out in the short run, but the entire ACC isn't up to the middle of the next decade.
Big Ten doesn't have enough power to separate itself.
And that's why I wonder if we'll see they pick off two teams in the ACC, the way USC and UCLA got picked off, the way Oklahoma and Texas got picked off, the way Oregon and Washington got picked off.
What does it bring to them?
A couple more markets and more money. And they inch their way towards whatever this is going to be in the long run, instead of doing something big and dramatic.
So now we're 10 years away. At that point, I don't give a crap.
I get it. If we get all amped up and we wait for, I don't know, we've been waiting for a couple of years already. So we're waiting 5, 6, 7 years for this, and then they kick the can down the road another 3 to 5 years?
I'm not waiting for it because I don't think it's going to happen.
You might be right.
So, and
I don't think
don't
they
want
know
somebody
yet.
to go because something might happen in the middle of the next decade.
I don't think they know yet, so I don't see how we can know. It's one of those deals where be ready if they come calling. And maybe they will.
Well, you don't have anything to be ready for. Just, you want to come? Yeah, I mean, were they ready for the Pac-12? Not any more than they had been ready. I don't think they need to do anything to be ready. Once the thing happens, then you have to make changes. But you can't make those changes until it actually happens.
We used to talk to Coach Shaw whenever Stanford would come rotating around to your table at the Pac-12 Media Days, and he told you, I don't know if it was on the air, off the air, or both, about at some point, we're going to get back to it's going to be more regional, make more sense. That was off the air. Okay. I know that everybody's waiting for them to add 2 teams in the West, and then there's 6 teams. There's still a lot of travel. They had 4 and go to 8, and then you have 7 games in regional, and you can just say, we're going to have 2 big intersectional, made-for-TV mega games, and everybody will play 2 of them. You'll play 1 of them at home, so now you're only going across the country once. And they could limit it with basketball in the same way. So I do wonder, as far as this, they're going to take 2 more teams, and you better be one of the 2. And it make more sense to take 4? You can still create the mega games, but honestly, is anybody dying to see USC, Illinois, USC, Purdue, USC, Michigan State? People are dying to see USC, Ohio State, and USC, Michigan, and USC, Penn State. So you can play a couple of the mega games and then keep everything else regional. USC to Maryland and to Rutgers and to Minnesota, and I just don't know that all that makes that much sense, and people are craving that.
They're not.
So let him more teams get more regional, but preserve room for a couple of.
You're craving
big
your
games.
team. That's about it.
Yeah. And I do wonder, we would see when the Pac-12 came to town, and actually we see it with the Big 12 to a degree, depending on the school. You'd see a lot of people wearing the gear walking around town. And they'd be here on Friday, Saturday, before the inevitable Saturday night game. And you just think, okay, USC fans would fly to Salt Lake, because it's a quick hour flight. It's not that big a deal. And USC fans, mixed complaining about basketball, and there are not as many people traveling basketball. But I just can't imagine you want to travel with your team halfway, 2/3, all the way across country. It's exhausting for the kids, exhausting for the fans, too. That's not a 1-hour flight up to the Bay Area to see a game or to Salt Lake or to Phoenix.
Nothing.
That's easy, as opposed to, okay, we got to change planes in Detroit or Minnesota to get to what are you doing?
Understood.
We'll fly to Chicago. We'll have a layover. We'll get into, what is it, Lafayette? West Lafayette, right where Purdue is. No directs out of
you
that
don't
way.
want to go to East Lafayette, trust me.
Oh, boy. And South Lafayette, don't get him started.
Yeah.
I get it. Where are they going? I don't know. Some of the moves have made sense. Some of the moves, not so much. Some of the moves I get, even if I don't like them. But some of the moves are kind of crazy and out there. And I get there. You got all this invested in the rivalry, all these decades of memories and big games and all that, and walking away from it, it sucks.
My grandmother spent over 80 years living in the same house on Lafayette Street in West Orange, New Jersey. That's amazing.
That home served her well.
Yes. Because she grew up in the home. My grandmother, Carmela, marries this Italian immigrant from Naples, Italy, Elmer. Elmer then buys the house that my grandmother was raised in. They move in, raise their 10 kids there, where my mother grew up. And the street, Lafayette, was always a tricky word to spell, but because they lived on that same street.
Had it down cold.
Yeah. And it was, amazingly, the entire block was all Italians. That's the way it was back then.
Back in the day.
Yeah. The house has since been sold. It was in the Ciamello family for over 100 years, that same home. We've lost that. And now do we need to lose the rivalries too? You see how I tied that together?
That was beautiful. You really put a bow on it.
Yeah.
Right at break time.
Yeah, and people can relate to that.
Trained professional.
Yeah. Think about the sadness when your adult kids had to sell the home that you were raised in because your parents finally passed. It was emotional. You don't want that.
I did not want that, and I was really happy that my dad sold that house and was in a condo apartment up in Orange County, whatever the heck it was. And I had to go in and close that out, and that was hard enough. It was his stuff, but it wasn't a place I cared about.
Now, the good thing is you got tens of thousands, if not more, in terms of profit that was divided among the three, and that's why it has led to your increased financial
paycheck is why I live in Utah.
Wellness, yeah. The inheritance combined with that, man.
You saved a school $600,000?
$600,000.
I see what you drive.
You do see what I drive, and you're totally overselling it.
I was like, that's
No,
maybe not
you're
the
shrewd
flex.
because you spend the money on other things.
That's
you don't
true.
need a big fancy car to get from here to there.
I do not.
I got a big TV.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm
that
mostly
allows you to get the big TV.
I'm mostly in the car by myself. I don't
Yeah.
need a big fancy
So
car.
that's the whole thing. That's what I'm
No,
talking
I'm too
about.
into myself to be
It
annoyed by
wasn't, but
other
it was a
people.
spectacular pivot.
Your shrewdness financially.
You just
I
adapted.
sit back in amazement.
You just adapted.